Big Rab Show Podcast is kindly sponsored by G1 Reeds. They are the champion's choice, with many bands around the world playing G1 products, providing everything you'd need to hit the circle or the big stage. So, check out g1reeds.com as they keep the lights on here at the Big Rab Show Podcast.
Hello there, everyone, and welcome to another Big Rab Show podcast. Well, I've just about recovered from what was such an action-packed weekend of piping and drumming, and yeah, we've got even more to look forward to over the next few weeks and months. I don't know. It's a good time to be involved in the piping and drumming scene. I'll say that. So much happening at the minute. Nearly make your head spin keeping up with all of it. Well, we're going to do our best on this week's show. We've got tons of news and updates and stuff to bring you. So, yeah. Plus, we have quite an awesome topic of the week to bring you as well. So that'll happen later on in the show. But before we even get there, let's get through our introductions, shall we? If this is your first ever Big Rab Show podcast, you are welcome. We are the show for the bagpiping folk. We reflect everything in the bagpiping world, be it Celtic music, folk music, or indeed our bread and butter, which is competitive piping and drumming. Each and every week we're here talking about what we know and love to be the music of the Great Highland Bagpipe and its people. And yeah, it's kind of an old cliche at this point, but we do have a Patreon. There's a link in your show notes right now where you can go and lend your support to your own wee favourite bagpiping podcast. And if you do decide to click on that button, well, you would be immediately awesome, wouldn't you?
Well, hello, pals and dames. The Patreon faithful are awesome. Solid send. The whole bunch is simply scrumptious. The Patreon faithful are awesome.
Yes, they are. And if you do decide to click on that button, you will get your mitts on loads of extras. Now, we've been really working away on our Patreon faithful and the content over there. We have a new thing called the Postscript. That's been extremely popular. Everyone seems to love that. So go and check out the Postscript. We also have our Fly on the Wall documentary. There's 2 episodes up there now. That's exclusive to Patreon subs as well. We also have Big Rab Show Plus and our weekly Fuse FM Ballymoney radio show, along with exclusive interviews, performances. Anyway, there's bags of stuff back there for the Patreon faithful. So if you do want to click on support, go for it. But if not, don't worry. We're still going to be here anyway, producing our show each and every week. But we just wanted it to be known that our Patreon faithful are awesome. Yes, yous are. Right, with each and every Big Rab Show, we do open the door to listener mail. And this week is no different. Like every other week, our email address has never changed from the outside of the show, which is bigrabshow@gmail.com. That address again, bigrabshow@gmail.com. Now, last week's podcast, we got talking to a pipe band historian, Trevor Clydesdale. Now, a good number of you out there actually know Trevor quite well. And, yeah, a lot of you had really kind words to say following last week's interview, saying that there's so many different rabbit holes I could have gone down the road. You know, like bands that are no longer on the grass anymore. We could have got into the history of them, and plus bands that are still on the grass today, but perhaps have seen numerous name changes, you know? So we could have gone down many different avenues. Trevor's wealth of knowledge of the bagpiping scene, it's quite famous, and yeah, that was quite a cool conversation with Trevor last week. So thank you everyone who did message in, who tuned into last week's pod. It was just really cool. Also, we're still getting messages in from episode 482, where we were talking about the world of volunteers and how important it is for our bagpiping world to have volunteers, because they really help make the scene function. So, yeah, we've had a bunch of people actually reach out to ourselves here at the Big Rab Show, and we've put people in contact with their various local branches. Some people didn't even know who their local branch was. So, yeah, we were able to help them out, depending on where they live geographically. Hi, here you go. Here's your local branch. Go and contact them. Go and, throw your hat in the ring. So, I'm quite happy with that result. That episode was quite encouraging, trying to, encourage more people to kind of, put their hand up and say, hey, I want to help. You know, I want to help our scene function and keep the ball rolling, you know? So we are the protectors of our tradition, I guess, by doing so. And yeah, even ourselves here at Rab Show, we've had quite a number of people, especially internationally, reach out to us and say, hey, can I film a band or two for you? There's a competition happening this weekend. I'm going to bring my phone with me. Do you want me to film a band for you? Well, the answer to that question is always yes, by the way. It's never going to be no, we don't want you filming anything. Absolutely. If you're going to a competition in a local level, wherever you're listening right now, and you can take a phone with you or whatever and record a wee performance for us, either inside or outside the circle, absolutely. We want to see it. So email us in bigrabshow@gmail.com. We'll even give you a few pointers and stuff on how to do it. You know, lessons we've kind of learned over the years as to how to best capture performances. There is a trick to it. And so, yeah, we'll certainly get in contact with you, you know. So if you do want to help us on Rab Show and be part of the team, absolutely, we're always open for applications. You can email us in bigrabshow@gmail.com. Now, we are in the process of finalizing our 2026 season. We pretty much have every competition in the UK calendar, I say pretty much, covered at this point. So, but again, we're always open to, you know, more volunteers, people to come forward. So if you do want to help us, absolutely, we would love to hear from you. Again, that email address, bigrabshow@gmail.com. All right. Now, we're also still getting questions about the Kids with Cancer charity night. Some people asking for some tune names and stuff like that. So we're doing our best to help people out with those as we get them. But sometimes that could be quite tough. So we have to look back. So Yeah, we've been doing our best to help people out with those questions indeed. And if you do have your own particular set of questions, of course, you can always email us in bigrabshow@gmail.com. That address I keep repeating. Now, we did get one particular email in which was really quite interesting. It was a write-up of a competition which was held by the Victorian Pipers Association. This came in from their president, Jonathan Kay. And it says, Dear Rab, please find a write-up of the VPA's first in-person competition of the 2026 season. This was brilliant. Now, this was held in Rupert's Wood. Yeah, now, this is actually an area that I've heard of. Now, stick with me with this one. Now, maybe you have heard of Rupert's Wood. Rupert's Wood, I can just about say. Right, the write-up goes as follows. On Saturday, April 18th, the Victorian Pipers Association held its first in-person competition on the 2026 season at Rupert's Wood Mansion on the grounds of the Silesian College, Sunbury in Melbourne, Australia. There you go. This was the first time a contest was held at this venue, and it holds some historical significance. 41 competitors registered for the competition. Now, that's massive. So, yeah, brilliant. Goes on to say, he says, the contest was sponsored by the Sunshine Foundation, which is a charitable foundation created in honour of Hugh Victor Mackay, who was an industrialist in Melbourne during the late 1800s to early 1900s. And H.V. Mackay founded the Sunshine Harvesters Company and had a significant involvement with pipe bands by funding the Sunshine Pipe Band, which eventually became the current Victoria Scottish Pipe Band. Ta-da! There's the connection. So this year marks the centenary of H.V. Mackay's passing, and it's fitting that a piping contest has been started in his honour. Isn't that fantastic? I love that. What a brilliant, absolutely smashing. It goes on to say, the Sunshine Foundation's sponsorship enabled the VPA, which is the Victorian Pipers Association, to award a prize purse, would you hear this, of 2,100 Australian dollars. What? That's insane. That's massive. Whoa, I must have hit my dun-dun-dun button. There you go. Yeah, so that amount of money was awarded across the grades. You know, C, D, novice, A. It was all awarded across all of them. And it should be noted that the number of competitors was a record for the season opener for the Victorian Pipers Association. Yeah. So for full information on all of this, you can go and check all the details, including the results of who won what. Just go to pipingvictoria.com. The full listings there of who won what and where. Looking at the A grade, I think pretty much everything went the direction of Jonathan Kay, which is the Pembroke, the 2/4 March, the Strathspey and Reel, Hornpipe Jig, all of it. That was all the A grade. All of the B grades went to quite well known here as Campbell Wilson. Yeah, the Pembroke, 2-4 March, the Spey Radio, the Hornpipe Jig, all of the Big Rab and the Campbell Wilson. So again, not going to read the full hashtag list. You can go and check all of that out, of course, as I mentioned, on their website, pipingvictoria.com. But yeah, huge shout out to Jonathan for sending that through to us. Much appreciated. And yeah, I'll be keeping across details of this competition in future. Now, let's talk a little bit about Rupert's Wood Mansion. Rupert's Wood Mansion. That name rung a bell to me, and in the email it actually goes on to explain about it as well. Apparently it has quite a prominent place in Australian history, being the birthplace of the Ashes cricket series. Yeah, for anyone who's a cricket fan out there, apparently Rupert's Wood Mansion is where the Ashes first started. Yeah, it's where the legendary burning of the bales apparently took place, and the presentation of that little tiny urn was held at that mansion for the first time. So, hey, there's a competition being held in it now, a piping competition, which is way better than cricket. But there you go. I knew I'd kind of heard that name before, the Rupert's Wood Mansion. There you are. Interesting stuff. That's a bit of history for you there. But yeah, thanks to the Victorian Pipers Association for sending that right up through. Such an interesting contest, and I will be keeping across that for future. Yeah. All right, that's pretty much it for listener mail. Everything else has all been kind of admin and planning for future episodes. And yeah, we mentioned this briefly last week, and you very nearly got me to trip over my words. A lot of people are still asking about episode 500. And I did tell you, we have a big announcement around the corner. All right, we're nearly there. We have a few more little jigsaw pieces to put in place before we're ready to announce what we're doing for episode 500. Now, a lot of you after the discussion last week went and checked your calendars and went to see exactly when episode 500 would take place. Now, I can neither confirm nor deny a lot of the rumors that are flying around about Big Rab Show episode 500. To tell you this, there's plenty of them, and only a few of you out there are actually correct. Yes, some of you guessed correctly. Now, I'm not going to tell you what exactly the guess was, because obviously we're not ready to announce it yet. But yeah, some of the rumors are true. Some of them are not true. But you know what we're like here on the Rab Show. We always like to hear from the horse's mouth. So you're going to have to wait for our announcement on episode 500. But it's just around the corner, folks. Just a few more weeks to wait, and you'll get that announcement. Okay? I'm not saying anything else, because I'll get in trouble. The rest of the Rab Show team will lynch me. I'm forever letting the cat out of the bag. But yeah, we're working furiously hard behind the scenes. We have been now for a few months, piecing something quite cool together. And we will announce it in the next few weeks. Okay? That's it. That takes care of listener mail for this week. Swiftly move on, Rab. Okay. Well, and what normally happens at this point of the show is we normally have Weekly Drone, where you guys go to our website, thebigrabshow.com, that big red button at the top of the page that says Weekly Drone, and you let us know your thoughts and feelings, warts and all, and we bring them to the show. Our JD reads them out, and then I react in real time. Well, this week, we don't have any Weekly Drone. No Weekly Drones this week. Yeah, do you know what that tells me? It either tells me that you're all incredibly busy and have no time to be typing in stories online. Either that or everything's tickety-boo. Everybody's happy and nobody wants to moan or drone about anything. Yeah, I should be so lucky. So, yeah, just to remind you, if you do want to send in your own Weekly Drone, you can do. Go to our website, that big red button at the top of the page. You can't miss it. It says Weekly Drone. You can click on that and let us know your story. It's completely anonymous. That's the beauty of Weekly Drone. There, you can tell us your stories, your opinions, without fear of recrimination. It's an open microphone to the bagpiping world. So yeah, let us know your thoughts and opinions on all things to do with the piping scene, and we'll bring it here to a future episode. So yeah, disappointing, no Weekly Drone this week, but hey-ho, that's how things go. Sometimes you have loads on the shelf, sometimes you have zero, and that's the case for this week. Anyway, right, so that just kind of leaves me open now to head into all the news and updates, because yeah, trust me folks, there's a lot to get into. We have all of the solo piping and drumming action from this past weekend, concert stuff, and there's a lot to get into. So I'm going to take myself a wee break here, and I'll be right back after this. Ever wish you had a piping teacher on call 24/7? Well, now you do. Introducing the Interactive Player, a game-changing new practice tool at Dojo University. Play along with world champion pipers while the notes on your sheet music light up in time. Loop tricky phrases, slow down tough sections, zoom in to focus, and build speed automatically. It's like having a teacher right in your practice room, showing you how to master every tune at your own pace. So, sign up for a free trial today at pipersdojo.com and start learning smarter with Dojo U's Interactive Player.
Ready to take your playing to the next level? Say hello to the ES Session Chanter, the ultimate practice chanter designed for versatility and durability. Crafted from stainless steel and aluminium, the chanter comes equipped for both an A stem and a B flat stem, giving you the freedom to play along with any instrument, anytime, anywhere. Whether at a band practice or a trad session, the ES Session Chanter keeps pace with your creativity. Included with the chanter is the custom carbon carry case, the perfect addition to this compact and tactile instrument. To get yours, head to essessionchanter.co.uk.
Alrighty, supporting those that support us, I guess, here. Yeah, there you go. Right, well, you knew full well that we were going to talk about it. The UK solos and Ulster solos. That's where we have to start. Yeah, the piping and drumming action in Cookstown this past weekend was just off the charts. It was insane. So much brilliant solo action, both from the drumming world and piping world. There's a lot to unpack. So where can we start? Well, we're going to start with the UK drumming solos, okay? All held in Cookstown High School. In fact, both events were there. And yeah, I'm getting tons of great reports about the venue. We'll talk about that in a second. Let's get into the UK solos. Now, for those of you waiting on my opinions of what happened with the adult seniors, we'll get into that in a minute or two. Yeah, there is a bit of controversy there and has caused a bit of stir in the solo scene. A lot of people are talking about it. Anyway, let's get into it. All right, kicking things off, all of these results, by the way, that I'm about to start going through, they're available on the RSPBA headquarters site. You can go and click on that and look at all your results. Let's get into it. Starting with Juvenile 1, the winner and UK champion for 2026 was Henry Turkington of Down Academy. Yes, well done, Henry. If anything, he was joint first with Jack Semple from Hollymount, but was placed first on adjudicator preference. And you're going to hear more about this adjudicator preference later on, I feel. There you are. Moving on, Juvenile Section 2, winner and UK champion for 2026 was William Smyton with Tullylagan. There you go. Nice one, William. Well done. In second place was Lucy Watson, and third was Katie Mahari both from Hollymount Band. There you are. All right, moving on to Juvenile Section 3, then we only had 2 in the grade here, and UK champion for 2026 was Lexi Kerr from Surlaton District. Well done, Lexi. And that was Juvenile 3. Moving on to Juvenile Section 4 then, our UK champion for 2026 was Ethan Young from Surlaton District. Yes, well done, Ethan. In second place was Callum Freeburn from Ravara, and in third place was Matthew Brownlee from Surlaton District. Yeah, in fourth then was Ashley Steele from Ravara. Yeah, so it's kind of a... Yeah, Surlaton District and Ravara kind of dominated Juvenile Section 4 there. There you go. Those were the 2 bands that entered soloists for the UKs in the Juvenile 4. But well done, Ethan Young, UK champion. There you are. Moving on to Juvenile 5 then. In first place and UK champion for 2026 was Lewis Doherty from Field Marshal Montgomery. Well done, Lewis. In second place was Jamie Coffey from Field Marshal as well. In third place was Joshua Green from People's Ford, Bog Hall and Bathgate, Caledonia. And in fourth place was Stephen Kelly from Tullylagan. And that was your Juvenile Section 5. Right, let's get into the adult grade and why everyone is talking right now about the UK solo adult snare drumming. Well, I did tell you that adjudicator preference would play a role, and I would mention it again, because it turned out that there was a 3-way tie for first place. Yeah, in points, when you look at it, across the board, there was a 3-way tie where Willie Glenholmes, Alex Buchanan, and Stephen Crichton were all tied for first place on points. So it shook down then to adjudicator preference. Now, I am not across the details as to how adjudicator preference works, okay? I just know it as kind of the deciding factor when it comes to solo competitions. Obviously, with pipe bands, we have ensemble preference, and that's kind of the X factor that can give you the difference between first, second, third, if you do have a tie. But whenever it comes to the solo world, this adjudicator preference does come into play, and we have the results as they sit now. In first place and UK champion for 2026 was William Glenholmes from Field Marshal Montgomery, placed first on an adjudicator preference. There you are. In second place was Alex Buchanan from Field Marshal Montgomery, and he was placed second as well on adjudicator preference. And in third place was Stephen Crichton from St. Lawrence O'Toole. Yes. And in fourth place was Conor Lawler from St. Lawrence O'Toole. Fifth was Aaron McWilliams of Shotts and Dykehead, Caledonia. And in sixth place then was Ashley Fife from the Field Marshal Montgomery. Now, the reason I'm mentioning the top 6 places here is, of course, they get that all-important pre-qualification spot for the World Solos in October. Yeah. Now, also in addition to this, they added another to the list of the pre-qualification spots for the Worlds, and that was Matthew Shaw from Rivara, who placed in 7th place. There you are. So, quite an interesting competition, this. I've yet to see some of the performances from this. I do believe they will hopefully publish videos of them in the near future. I do believe they were filmed for posterity. Now, whether they're going to see the light of day or not, don't know, but we do know there is videos out there that exists of the UK drumming solos, so hopefully they will be published soon, with a bit of luck. But, and then we can all be our own armchair judge in this case. But I'm intrigued. If anyone is involved in the solo scene and is aware of how this adjudicator preference thing works, let me know. I am curious. It has been the topic of discussion since the UK Solos closed its doors on the Friday. All everyone was talking about was this 3-way tie for the title, and how they managed to shake it down and how they reached the final decision was all on adjudicator preference. So interesting, that, isn't it? You know, but that shows you the margins that is at play here, especially with our solo scene. You know, it's so subjective, you know, and all of these folks who competed in there, all 9 of them in that adult grade, were just ridiculous. So I've been told the standards are ridiculously high for the UK solos, and the results definitely show that. Yeah. So congratulations to Willie Glenholmes, UK solo drumming champion for 2026 on adjudicator preference. And to everyone else there that did earn themselves a pre-qualification spot for the World Solos in October, there you are. That's just made your job a lot easier come October. There you are. So, as I've mentioned, if you do want to go and check out all that detail on the results and go and have a look for yourself how it all shook down, well, then go to the RSPBA headquarters website. All of those results are published up there. Yeah. Okay, throwing forward then to the following day, we had the Ulster Solo Piping and Drumming Championships. And again, all of these results that I'm about to start going through are published up on the RSPBA Northern Ireland branch website. And we're going to stick with drumming for now, all right? We're going to concentrate on the drummers for a bit, and then we're going to jump across and check out all the piping results. So you want to start with juvenile under-14 drumming. So in first place and Ulster champion for the under-14 drumming was Henry Turkington of Down Academy. Well done, Henry. In second place was Lexi Kerr. In third place was Gregor Morrow. And in fourth place was Joshua McLeese. That's your top 4 in the under-14. In the under-16 then, Ulster champion for 2026 was Ethan Young from Sirland District. Yes. In second place was Callum Freeburn. Third place was Matthew Brownlee. And in fourth place was Ashley Steele. And that's your under-16. Moving on to the under-18 now, Ulster champion for 2026 was Lewis Doherty from Field Marshal Montgomery. Yes. And in second place was Jamie Coffey from Field Marshal. Third place was Joshua Green. And in fourth place was John McFall Jr. Yeah. So that was your under-18s. Now we're on to the C-grade drumming. Ulster champion for 2026 was Stephen McGall. Yes, from Ravara. And in second place was Nathan Murdoch from Tullylagan. And in third place was Ben McGeown from Ravara. Fourth place was Brian Hassam of Columkill. There you go. That's your top four there. And the Ulster solos for the C grade. Moving on to the B grade. First place was Andy Young from Sirlain District. Yes, well done, Andy. Second place was Ben Gibson from Manor Cunningham. And that was your B grade. All right, moving on to the A grade drumming. Again, another incredibly interesting set of results here, but it did seem to be quite a one-sided affair. Yeah, looking at the MSR results, first of all, for A-grade drumming, the winner was Alex Buchanan from Field Marshal Montgomery. Second was Stephen Crichton. Third place was Aaron Jess. And fourth, was Matthew Shaw. There you go. Moving on to the hornpipe jig, first place, again, was Alex Buchanan. Second was Stephen Crichton. Kind of noticing a bit of a pattern here. And in third place was Aaron Jess. And in fourth place was Ashley Fife from Field Marshal Montgomery. There you go. So the overall results then, an Ulster champion for 2026, for those of you totting up the results at home, you've probably already seen them by now anyway, was Alex Buchanan from the Field Marshal Montgomery. Well done, Alex. Ulster champion. In second place was Stephen Crichton from St. Lawrence Tool, of course. Third place was Aaron Jess. And in fourth was Matthew Shaw. There you are. So, now, obviously, there's tons of other results to read through here. All of the tenor drumming action, the bass drumming, all of that stuff's up there as well. You can go and read through that at your leisure. I'm not going to sit and read a hashtag list for you all. So, but, congratulations to all of our drummers, by the way, who were absolutely putting the work in. So, yeah, just fantastic. All right, let's move on to the piping. We're going to start with the under-16s. And Ulster champion for 2026 was Rory Rogers. Yeah, from Upper Crossgar. Well done, Rory. In second place was Alan Waddle from Drumlock. Yes. Third was Jack Moore from Down Pipes and Drums. And in fourth place was Amelia Tully from Maynooth Youth Band. There you go. That's your under-16 piping. Looking at the under-16 Pembroke then, Rory Rogers from Upper Crossgar lifted the Ulster title there for that one. And in second place was Alan Waddle from Drumlock. There you go. Looking at the under-18 piping, then Ulster champion for 2026 was Maddox Stinson from Sirlain District. Well done, Maddox. In second place was Sean William Townsley from the Cleanham Memorial. In third place was Jack Rankin from the Irvine Memorial. And in fourth place was Andrew Keys from the Kildogue. Go on, the Dogue. There you go. So that's your under-18 piping. Under-18 Pembroke then also, went to Maddox Stinson as well. Lifted the Ulster title there as well. Well done, Maddox. In second place was Philip Murphy, and in third place was Andrew Keys. There you are. Okay, first of all, moving over to the C-grade piping, and Ulster champion for 2026 was William McFarlane from Tullylagan. Go on, William. Nice one. In second place was Ewan Mitchell from Ballybreast. Yeah, and in third place was Shay Toner from Clough-Finn. Well done, Shay. And in fourth place was Tom Cowan from Manor Cunningham. Go on the Manor. Well done, Tom. Good stuff. So that was your C-grade piping. Moving on to B-grade piping then. Ulster champion for 2026 was Drew McAnally from Ballyboley. Well done, Drew. In second place was Killian Bissett. Well done. Of course, from St. Lawrence Tool. And in third place was Conal McNamara from Letterkenny in District. Well done, Conal. In fourth place was Andrew Nelson from Shots and Dykehead, Caledonia. And that was your B-grade piping. Looking at the B-grade Pembroke competition, in first place there was Andrew Nelson from Shots and Dykehead, Caledonia. Well done, Andrew. In second place was Annabelle Charlton from the Ratai Pipe Band. Now, I'm forever pronouncing that band name incorrectly, so forgive me if I do pronounce it incorrectly. It is just stuff the Rab got wrong. There you go. But Annabelle is, of course, a member of the Big Rab Show team, so we should give her a bit of a cheer. Go on, Annabelle. Great result there. In third place, then, we had Eddie Boland from St. Joseph's Clondalkin. Well done, Eddie. And in fourth place was Arthur Bass from the Gorey Pipe Band. There you are. So that was your B-grade Pembroke there. All right. Moving on to the A-grade piping, starting with the MSR results. We had James Fraser from the Field Marshal Montgomery picking up the top spot. Well done, James. Ulster champion for 2026. In second place was James Stone from St. Lawrence Tool. Well done, James. Third was Ashley McMichael from Field Marshal Montgomery. Well done, Ashley. And in fourth place was Alistair Donaghy from Field Marshal Montgomery. Well done. And then, moving on to the A-grade Pibroch then. Winner and Ulster champion on the day was James Fraser from Field Marshal Montgomery. Well done, James. In second place was Ashley McMichael from Field Marshal. Well done, Ashley. In third place was Chris Coyle from Field Marshal Montgomery. Well done, Chris. And in fourth place, Alistair Donaghy then from Field Marshal Montgomery. So your top 4 in the Pibroch A competition were all Field Marshal Montgomery players. There you are. Well done. Moving on to the overall results then for the A-grade piping. Well, our Ulster champion for 2026, James Fraser from the Field Marshal Montgomery. Well done, James. Yes. And in second place then was Ashley McMichael from the Field Marshal Montgomery. Well done, Ashley. In third place was James Stone from St. Lawrence O'Toole. Well done, James. And in fourth place was Chris Coyle from the Field Marshal Montgomery. That was your top 4 overall A-grade piping results. There you are. Fantastic. Now, there's one competition I haven't mentioned yet, and that was the adult piping, hornpipe and jig competition. And Ulster champion for the adult piping, hornpipe and jig was Mark Warnock from Tullylagan. Go on, Mark. Well done. Ulster champion. In second place was James Fraser from the Field Marshal Montgomery. Third was James Stone from St. Lawrence O'Toole. And fourth was Sean Maloney from Closkelt. There you are. So, folks, I can continue reading through all of these results, of which there is plenty. There's practice chatter, there's all sorts of different age groups and all things that I haven't mentioned on the pod, but plenty of Ulster solo champions crowned this past weekend. Now, I told you I would talk about the venue and everything. It was absolutely fantastic. I think I haven't heard any huge complaints about it, if anything. And that's difficult to say for a solo event. You know, with so many different moving parts, different rooms to be in, different times and places and draws and all of that. So many moving parts for the likes of the UKs and for the Ulsters. There's just so much to kind of coordinate. So full congratulations to everyone there at the RSPBA Northern Ireland branch who ran a very successful event. And to all the competitors as well who treaded the boards, thumped out some big tunes and give the adjudicators something to think about. Yeah. As you can see by that UK solo event, they didn't make it easy for the adjudicators at all, did they? Yeah. Interesting. And yeah, if you do have any thoughts or even if you can tell me how adjudicator preference works, then email us in bigrabshow@gmail.com. I'm always keen to learn more. Yeah. So I don't know if this is one of the first majors that I've seen it being used to decide a champion. That again could be stuff that Rab got wrong. But I don't know. If it isn't, then, and if this is a first, well then, is it any wonder people are talking about it? Yeah. So let me know your thoughts and opinions and everything that happened this past weekend in Cookstown. bigrabshow@gmail.com. Yeah, we'll get into it in a future show, I'm sure. But well done to everyone who lifted silverware and to everyone who didn't. Well done anyway. It takes a considerable amount of bravery to go up there and play solo. Yeah, I definitely do not have that skill set, you know, so I will not be playing solo in the near future. Oh, I'll just stick to the band stuff for now. All right, let's move on. More news stories to get into. All right, we need to talk about this past weekend's concert from Tullylagan Pipe Band. All right, now forgive me if I'm going to be a bit self-indulgent here for a little while because obviously I was there and I was playing at it. But man, such a great night. Absolutely brilliant. To a sold-out audience in the Burnavon Theatre. The concert itself was just amazing. It was wall-to-wall, blistering musical goodness. Yeah. Now, there's another concert that equally ticked the same boxes, and we're going to chat about that in a minute as well. But yeah, I have to give a special mention to the Tullylagan Grade 2 band who unveiled a bit of their brand new competitive medley for this season. Have you seen that? Yeah, managed to capture a wee sneaky video of that. So yeah, we uploaded that to our socials and it's been quite popular. I think at this point, I'll maybe edit in a little clip of it. So let's get a wee sneaky listen to it. Tullylagan Pipe Band Grade 2 competitive medley for 2026, which was unveiled this past weekend. Let's get a wee listen to it. Yes, and I will fade it out there at that point. If you do want to hear the rest of it, the entire video is up there now on the Big Rab Show YouTube channel, and it's on our Facebook page as well. You can go and check it out there. But shout out to Tullylagan. Bringing it to a home audience there in the Burnavon, they'd certainly got a huge reception. And yeah, the buzz online since that publication of that video, it's been something ordinary. So congratulations to Tullylagan. What a brilliant event. And also, shout out to all the other acts as well. To the drum majors. And, Amelia Higgins, Louise Smighton, to Dungannon Silver Band, to Moneymore Bible and Crown Defenders. We also had Blazing Bellows, who were on stage, which are always a hit with the audience. Shout out to David Linton, by the way. Davy Linton, who was a compere on the night. It was hilarious, by the way. So shout out to David. Brilliant. Also, a particular highlight for me was the solo from William McFarland and Joshua Green, who played along with him. That was something else, lads. Well done. So anyway, if you are anyways curious as to what went on in the Burnavon Theatre, there is little clips and stuff up online. You can go and have a look at all of that. But yeah, I'm also going to big up my own band, Tullylagan 4B. Yeah, we were on stage and we played our competition set as well. First time we had this season in front of an audience, and that was kind of scary. But yeah, we made it through, and I think we held our own. That was a good enough tune, I thought. Good performance. So anyway, go and check it out. It's up there on the socials now, and yeah, shout out to Tullylagan Pipe Band. What a successful concert that was. Now, also speaking of successful concerts, we do have to talk about the National Youth Pipe Band of Scotland, who held their concert called Duchas, or Dukas. I think I've been pronouncing that wrong for a long time, and I'm not doing it on purpose, I promise. I'm not doing it intentionally, but yeah, what an incredible show. There has been clips aplenty all across from Dukas this past weekend, and it has just been fantastic. So go and check it out. All of those little video clips, who I think were filmed unofficially. Yeah, but thank you to the members of the audience who did manage to grab those sneaky little clips and share them with us online. Brilliant to see. So, yeah, what an amazing concert from the National Youth Pipe Band. We've told you that band never disappoints, They go up there and they thump some big tunes and leave everybody just like with the mouths on the floor going, oh my word, what did I just see? So, yeah, congratulations. What a blistering show. And go and check out all the clips. There's tons of them online. All right, let's get into our next news story. We, of course, have to talk about the American Pipe Band Championships, which took place there in Norfolk and Virginia as part of the Virginia International Tattoo. Now, we've been covering this event now since it launched, I guess, which was years ago. But, yeah, this competition continues to go from strength to strength, and it's kind of a side event to the tattoo itself. But for me, as a competitive fan, I think this would be the highlight for me. But anyway, moving on, we do have an American champion. Now, they were competing up as far as grade 2, I believe. And I've yet to see the full summary sheets from this. So again, if this is stuff that Rab got wrong, please do let me know. But looking at grade 2, our American Pipe Band champions were the Macmillan Pipe Band from Washington. Well done, Macmillan. In second place was the Great Lakes Pipe Band from Cleveland. Now, I have seen actually the medley performance from Macmillan. I believe there was an MSR competition as well in grade 2, but I didn't get a chance to listen to any of those runs just yet. Videos of all of that is up online now. Just go to the Virginia International Tattoo. They've published all of that. Yeah, the full competition's up there. Moving on to grade 3, champions on the day were Carnegie Mellon University Pipes and Drums from Pittsburgh. Well done, Carnegie Mellon. In second place was Wake District Public Safety Pipes and Drums from Raleigh in North Carolina. Well done, the Wake. In third place was Macmillan Birtles Pipe Band from Rockville in Maryland. Well done, Macmillan Birtles. Or Birtles even. See, this is me pronouncing names wrong and again. I'm not doing it on purpose. In fourth place... In fourth place in grade 3 was the Siren City Pipe Band from Norfolk in Virginia. So this was kind of a home game for them. There you are. So the competition itself, as I've said, was filmed in its entirety, and you can go and check it out on the Virginia International Tattoo social media. You can go and watch the entire thing. So, yeah, just shout out to our American champions. Grade 3, Carnegie Mellon, and in grade 2, the Macmillan Pipe Band. There you are. Go and check all of that out on the Virginia International Tattoo socials, the American Pipe Band Championships. Well done to everyone involved there. What a great event that is. Okay, also this past weekend was an indoor competition in Huntly, thanks to the North of Scotland branch. Yeah, and the action from this competition was just off the charts. There's some bands in particular I really want to give a big shout out to. For anyone who hasn't caught the action from this, you're going to want to, okay? We're going to start with Grade 4B, and the winners were, Bucksburn District Novice Juvenile in 4B, who competed in 4B, but they are a Novice Juvenile B band. But there you go. Well done, Bucksburn District Novice Juvenile. Champions in Grade 4A were the RAF Lossiemouth Pipe Band. Yes, with a clean sweep across the board. First in piping, first in drumming, first in ensemble. Just a clean sweep. So well done to the RAF Lossiemouth Pipe Band in 4A. Looking at Grade 3 then, and champions on the day winners were Elgin and District. Again, with ones right across the board. First in piping and drumming ensemble, just clean sweep. Well done, Elgin. In second place then was the city of Inverness. Yes, and they were really impressive, actually. I had to listen to the city of Inverness. Really good sound. In third place then was Fraserburgh RBL. Well done, Fraserburgh. And in fourth place then was Coulter and District. There you are. Now, both Fraserburgh and Coulter and District are graded 3B, and Elgin and the city of Inverness are both 3A, but they were all lumped in together into one competitive grade, just called Grade 3. There you are. But yeah, congratulations to Elgin and District, champions on the day. Moving on to Grade 2 then, was a performance that absolutely blew me sideways. Where did this come from? But this is the band I wanted to give a shout out to. Buchan Peterson. Oh my word. Wow. If you haven't listened to Buchan Peterson's Grade 2 performance at this competition, go have a watch at it now. They have shared out videos and all of it, but my word, it was something else. So yeah, congratulations, Buchan Peterson, who lifted the Grade 2 title on the indoor. There you are. In second place was Texo, D-Side Caledonia. Well done. In third place was the Grampian Police Pipe Band. Yes, well done. And in fourth place was Bucksburn in District. Again, blowing a big sound. And they actually placed second in ensemble, but fourth overall. But yeah, still in the mix there, still in the fight. So yeah, very, very interesting grade in there. Yeah, in Grade 2. But in particular, go and check out Buchan Peterson, and that Grade 2 run was just something special. All right, moving on to Grade 1. They did hold a Grade 1, although they didn't have any Grade 1 bands. A number of the Grade 2 guys just played again. And in first place was Buchan Peterson. Yes. And in second place was Bucksburn District. Well done. Third place was Grampian Police. And in fourth place was Texo D-Side Caledonia. There you are. So that was your North of Scotland branch indoor, which was held in Huntly. And full results and full breakdowns of the summary sheets, you can go and check that out on the RSPBA website right now. They're up there. Also, this past weekend was another competition in the London and South of England branch indoor competition. Now, I'm not completely across where exactly this happened, but I'm curious. Yeah, I'm curious to know where this took place, because it seemed to be quite a lot of piping action on offer here. There was quartets, there was mini bands, as well as a full band competition. A lot to offer here. So I'm curious to learn more about this event. All right, let's move on. We're going to start with the Grade 4 mini band competition. And in first place was the City of Plymouth Pipe Band. Go on, City of Plymouth! You! There you are. So lifting the overall title and the drumming as well. This early in the season. What a great start. Yeah, well done. In second place was Hampshire Caledonian. Well done, Hampshire. And in third place was the City of Plymouth A. There you are. So, just to correct myself, the City of Plymouth B band lifted it overall. So we're doing the ABC thing. Yeah. So well done. City of Plymouth A finished in third place. In fourth place was the Reading Scottish A pipe band. There you are. And that was your Grade 4 mini bands. Moving on then to Grade 3 mini bands, we had, Reading Scottish, who competed up in Grade 3, and they were Reading Scottish A, Reading Scottish B, and that's the places that they finished in. So well done, Reading Scottish. Moving on to Grade 2, there was a Grade 2 quartet competition that was held, and no mini band, unfortunately, but the quartet was entered by the City of London Pipe Band themselves. Graded at 3A, but we're competing up a step in Grade 2 in the quartets, and they were the only competing band in that grade that day. So there you are, the London and South of England branch indoor competition. Interesting stuff, but well done to everyone involved there. It seemed to be quite a wide range of events on offer, between quartets, mini bands, all sorts of stuff. There's a lot to enjoy there. So brilliant. Well done to everyone involved. Okay, seeing how we're in the middle of reading out results and stuff from competitions, going to take a little break from that for now, and I want to give a particular mention to something that really quite special that happened to me this past week. Now, for those of you who are in the know, and I've mentioned it here on the show before, about the Livingston collection on social media. Jim Livingston here has been quite a prolific bagpiper and composer in his own right, and has released all sorts of great collections over the years. And well, recently he's now took to publishing his work on social media, and has been a dose of brand new tunes composed by the legend himself. Well, I was absolutely knocked over when on April 20th there was a tune published online named after me. It was just... I couldn't put it into words. It was just something else. And anything, like this, it's such a huge honor to have a tune named after you, because long after I'm gone, that tune will still exist. Yeah. So it's a 68 March, composed by Jim Livingston, has been published online. And if you are anyways curious and wanting to hear it, or perhaps even playing it, well, yeah, go and check out the Livingston collection on social media. But yeah, just a huge thank you to Jim. What a huge honor to have a tune named after me. I have another one, I think, by Andrew O'Sullivan. Yeah, I do actually, yeah. Rab Lennox of Marafelt. And again, that's another 68 March as well that Andrew composed for me, which is just amazing. Yeah. And of course, we have a number of other tunes composed for the Big Rab Show. Yeah, we had one by Lincoln Hilton that starts each show, Big Rab's 200th. That's the tune you listen to the start and end of each Rab show. So yeah, thanks to Lincoln Hilton for that one. We also have Eric Evenhouse's Big Rab Show Hornpipe, which is still an absolute favourite of mine. That's just amazing. Yeah, we also have one from Ali Levac, Big Rab's Cup of Tea. Have anybody ever heard that tune? I haven't heard it performed anywhere, actually, but it has been published in one of his collections. So shout out to Ali Levac, legend. So, this is not lost on me. Having a tune composed with my name on it is just, it's insane, but a huge honor at the same time. So to everyone who has ever put pen to paper, composed a tune, and decided to slap either Rab Show or put my name on it, it's just a huge honor, and thank you. I was absolutely blown away. But on this particular occasion, go and check it out, the Livingston collection and Jim Livingston's composition called Rab Lennox. Very simple, yeah. All right, let's move on. Okay, also this past weekend in South Africa was a competition from Pirates. Yes, it's an actual place. Yeah, it's called the Pirates Highland Gathering, and this is the second such event from the South African scene. And again, pulled in bands from all across, and yeah, the level of musicianship on offer here was just something else. So, going through the results then, starting at the juvenile grade, well, champions on the day were St. Benedict's. Well done, St. Benedict's. Moving on to grade 4, then champions on the day were Transvaal Scottish. Yes. Second place was African Sky, and in third place was the Pretoria Highlanders. Yeah, well done. Moving on to grade 3 then on the day, the champions were the Pretoria Highlanders. Yes, well done. Second place was the De La Salle Combined Pipe Band, and in third place was African Sky. There you are. We had a grade 2 competition on the day as well, and champions on the day were Benoni Mactilla. Now, I could be absolutely pronouncing that incorrectly, and if I did, I didn't do it intentionally. But well done, Benoni. Great competition there. And in second place was Transvaal Scottish. There you are. So for full details on everything that happened at the Pirates Gathering, well, yeah, go and check all of that detail out on the Pipe Bands Association of South Africa on their socials. Tons of photographs, a lot of action, including all of your summary sheets. You can go and have a view at all of that. But yeah, the Pirates competition seemed to be a big success. Plenty of bands playing at it, and a load of great action there. There you go. So no doubt, our team member, Siobhan Nodier, was there covering things for us. So we do hope to have videos from this event up on our socials very soon. So do keep across that. We do hope to have a lot of piping and drumming action from the Pirates event there. So there you go. Things in South Africa are heating up there. Good stuff. Okay, well, this is kind of disappointing news at this point. Well, normally I would love to be giving you a report from the Las Vegas Highland Games. Now, what usually happens is that a bunch of piping and drumming happens at the games, and then we do get champions crowned at the Vegas Games, and then everybody goes home and nobody seems to know where the results are. And I have been digging online for ages trying to find results from the Vegas games and could not find any. So that's on me, but I have been asking around all sorts of different sources, but no one seems to know where they're published. So anyone listening right now can help us out with results from the Vegas games. I'm very aware that a lot of great action was happening. Shout out to Wasatch District, who have published a lot of their performances, actually, from the games, who were just absolutely blistering, by the way. So enjoyable. And a pile of other bands as well who have been involved in the action. I have no idea who placed where and when. So if you have that detail, please send it in to us. We'd love to bring it to a future show. bigrabshow@gmail.com. So I don't know why it's so difficult sometimes getting results from competitions. I don't get it. I think that's maybe one of the first things that us in the UK think of here. When as soon as we have a competition done, the results have to be published within the next 30 minutes of them being announced in the park. And in our case, us and the Big Rab Show, we live stream the results, the actual announcement in the park as it happens. So you get it firsthand. It's kind of one of the most important things for competitors. That's what we're so interested in, is who won and who got second, third, fourth, all of that. So I don't know why this doesn't happen at other international climbs. I just don't know. But, anyone that did attend the Vegas Games or has knowledge of where they're published, please do send them our direction. We'd absolutely love to have them, and we'll bring all of that to a future show. We'll chat all about it. Now, also this past weekend was the Inch Dreer beating solo drumming competition in Edinburgh, which was all organised by the Army School of Bagpipe Music and Highland Drumming. Now, to say that the action at this one was kind of ridiculous, again, very similar to the events held here in Northern Ireland. It was off the charts. Now, the results of this have been difficult to pin down again, but shout out to Stuart from the Big Rab Show team, who was there and managed to cover the event. There's videos of every performance now up on our YouTube channel, and the results themselves have been live streamed on our Facebook page, so you can go and watch all of that. But as for an actual publication of results, I'm not sure where they're listed, but we're going to mention the snare drumming, but we're going to look at the hornpipe jig section, and congratulations to Glenn Crichton, who picked up the top spot. Well done, Glenn. In second place in the hornpipe jig was Craig Laurie. Well done, Craig. And in third place in the hornpipe jig was Ryan King. Well done, Ryan. Moving on to the MSR, and winner on the day was Craig Laurie. Well done, Craig. Yes. In second place was Chloe Taylor. Well done, Chloe. And in third then was Glenn Crichton. And that was your top three places for the MSR. So, as I said, as for an actual publication of the results, we are still on the hunt for those for every category, but that kind of gives you a bit of a summary. All of those videos of the performances, along with the live stream of the results, it's all available on our Facebook page, on our YouTube channel. You can go back and watch all of that now. So, just a brilliant competition. And shout out to Stuart, who attended on the day and just had such a great time. Yeah, he was telling me that, tune after tune, that this just keeps getting better with every competitor. And he's like, how do the judges do it? So, just a great time was had at the Inch Dreer beating solos, and looking forward to the next one now, Okay, one final news story before we do have to move on with our topic of the week. I realize there's a lot of other stuff that we could be talking about, but we need to talk about the draw for the British Championships, don't we? It's here. Now, don't worry. We're going to be doing a full British Championships preview podcast where we will be delving into this draw in fine detail. It's just published today, actually, at the point of me recording this. So if you are curious as to who all is entered for the British, you can go through it in detail. It's up there now on the RSPBA website. And yes, we will be going through it in fine detail in a future pod. All right? But I'm just going to click on the button here. I haven't read this yet. And just get a rough idea of the numbers. That's all I want to talk about here so far, is the numbers game. Not going to get into who's actually playing. All right, so this is going to be done in real time, so you're going to have to bear with me. No editing. Click the button. Do you want to download or open? I want to open. Here we go. British Championships 2026, starting with Novice Juvenile B. 18 bands in there. Ooh, that's a big novice grade to kick us off for the year. 18 bands? Holy moly. All right, that's novice juvenile B. Starting then, moving on, novice A, 12 bands in total. Dang, that's big juvenile grades. 18 and then 12 for B and A, respectively, in our juvenile grades. That's brilliant. Hey, fantastic. I'm all for that. Well, if that's showing healthy numbers there in the juveniles, I'm hopeful for the rest of the grades. Scroll down. 4B. Wow, quite a list there. 18 bands. Yes, now you're talking. Big numbers for the first major of the season. 18. That's brilliant. Now, I'm not going to get and start reading lists of names here, but that's 18 for 4B for the British. Brilliant. Moving on, scroll down. 15 for 4A. That's respectable. That's quite good right there. 15 bands. Brilliant. Again, I'm not going to read names. All right, enough of the clapping. 15, 4A. Okay, now a grade that has been kind of hurting this last while. I'm not going to go to 3B just yet. We're going to go to juvenile. 6 bands in here for juvenile. Ooh. Okay, that's quite healthy. Yeah, good stuff. Glad to see that. All right, 3B. Have we got big numbers, please? 15. Oh, okay. 15. I'm quite happy with that for 3B. That's been a grade that's been kind of low on numbers this last while, especially last year. So yeah, that's great to see. 15, and that's quite a good major. Scroll down, grade 3A, 19 bands. What? That deserves another round of applause there. Holy moly. 19 bands in 3A for the British. Oh, man, that's so exciting. All right, now I'm not going to start reading names because then I'm going to spoil it for myself. All right, what about the ridiculous grades? Where are we? 13 in there for grade 2. Okay, that's a really respectable start there for grade 2. Good stuff. Glad to see it. Okay, I'm excited now. So under grade 1, yeah, we know we've lost a few names in here. Closkelt, Johnstone. How many have we got? We've got 9. Okay. All right, we have 9. That's fine. That's where we are with grade 1 at the moment, I think. And, okay, I'm going to briefly read this because I'm curious. We have St. Lawrence kicking things off. We have the Federation Band are back. The Federation are back. Yay! Oh, man, brilliant. Okay, the Federation are back. To give them their proper title, Police Scotland and Federation. Okay, but everyone calls them the Federation. That's brilliant. Okay, playing third then, we have Field Marshal. Okay, fourth, we had Shots in there. Fifth, we have People's Ford, Boghall and Bathgate, Caledonia. Good stuff. Then we have Fife Polis, Police Scotland Fife, playing sixth. Then we have Inverary, playing seventh. Eighth, then we have Scottish Power, and then ninth then, finishing off the grade for the day, we have Ravara. There you are. That's your grade 1. 9 bands. Not a bad weekend, folks. Ooh, all right, then moving on to our drum majors then. We have 3 heats for our juniors. For our juveniles, we have 2 heats. And for our adults, we have 3 heats. There we go. So, again, I'm just very briefly looking at this. Just looking at the numbers. We will be getting into all of the detail with bands that we're excited to see and the reasons behind it. We'll be doing a full British Championship preview in an upcoming podcast. We will go through this in detail. But for now, we're just sort of scanning over it. That's some really healthy numbers right there. Shout out to Novice B, by the way. 18 bands in there. That's great. Yeah, 4B with 18 as well. Big grade in there. That's going to be exciting. So, I don't know. It's healthy, isn't it? Very healthy. Shout out to grade 3A, by the way. 19, the biggest grade on the day. Yikes. Good luck to everyone there in 3A. That's going to be a difficult one. But it's a brilliant start for the first major in the calendar. That's such a good numbers to be reporting there. Anyway, I could just about speak. But that's brilliant. Great news. Okay. I'm glad I read that live on the pod. That was fun. And I very nearly cursed there at one point. So, yeah, editing. But, yeah, we will be doing a full pod on All British. We will get into all of that. But, right. That's it for all the news and updates. I'm going to draw a line under it at this point, all right? Now, I do know there's a lot of stuff that's hit the cutting room floor. Competitions aplenty that have happened, and we haven't mentioned them here on the show. Yeah. Now, also, I have to give a mention. This weekend is the Countdown section indoor competition here in Northern Ireland in Dromore High School. And, Yeah, I'll be competing at that myself with Tullylagan, but a wealth of other bands from across Northern Ireland will be duking it out for the first time. And this will be the first opportunity that bands will have to have a good dig at each other in an indoor setting. Fair enough, it'll be a bit different, but still exciting at the same time. Yeah, so looking forward to the contest this weekend in Dromore High School for the County Down Indoors. If you are going, have a good tune, best of luck, and hopefully I will see you all there. And yeah, I'll be running about with a microphone, of course, being a pest as always. But yeah, good luck to all of our competitors. If you are competing at the County Down Indoors or any other competitions this upcoming weekend, then yeah, have a good tune and let us know where you're competing as well. You can drop us in an email on anything we spoke about on this pod or future ones, bigrabshow@gmail.com. All right, let's fly on. I think it's time for me to finally get into this week's topic of the week, isn't it? Time for me to go and get a big cup of tea. It's time for the topic of the week.
Kingdom Thistle Pipe Band Supplies for all your pipe band and marching band needs. Supplying everything from uniforms and instruments to custom designed bass drum heads. They offer it all. Not forgetting their exclusive Kingdom Gilly Brogues and George Boots, crafted by bands for bands. Kingdom Thistle provides expert product advice and an industry-leading drum refurbishment service to keep your equipment in top-class condition. Also, shipping worldwide. So, stop by their store in Fife or visit them online at kingdomthistle.com for all your pipe band and marching needs. Marchify, the brand new home of Flam 5 drumming. Check out their brand new Strike bagpipe case, inspired by their colourful, popular and reliable Flam 5 drum cases. The Strike bagpipe case combines durability, style and practicality, protecting every movement. Shop now at marchify.co.uk with worldwide shipping available. Marchify, every movement protected.
Hi, this is Ross Ainsley, and you're listening to the Big Rab Show.
Ah, yes. Time for Topic of the Week. And you might have guessed by the title of this week's show, we're going to be talking all things Maket Collective. Yes. Now, this collective has been doing some quite incredible work in the piping scene over this last few years. Since the last time, well, when they were introduced and everything, the last time we had them on the pod was years ago. So, yeah, I think now is an opportune time to catch up with the folks there at the collective to find out what they're up to, because this weekend has something really quite special ahead for us. So I had to catch up with Helen Urquhart and Anna Kummerlau to find out exactly what's going to be happening this weekend with the Maket Collective. So it's been 80 plus odd episodes since we've last talked about this initiative, but I think it's about time we talk about it again because they have quite an exciting recital this weekend. The Maket Collective, and Helen and Anna are joining us on the call. Helen, first of all, I'm going to direct the questions to you because you guys have been insanely busy since I was last chatting to you. You covered a lot of ground.
Yes, so the Maket Collective is all about promoting and amplifying the voices of women in piping and drumming. And so since we last chatted, I think we've probably brought on our second cohort of ambassadors. So we now have 12 Maket ambassadors worldwide who we are sharing their videos and news and connecting people from around the world with these amazing women performers. And Anna is one of our new ambassadors for this year.
There you go. So whenever I was first chatting, it was only really starting. I was catching up with yourself and Sophie, and people can go back and listen to that interview, and we're just getting into the idea of what the collective was. But now, have you been finding that people are really engaging with it now, Helen?
Definitely. So since we last chatted, there are now separate Facebook and Instagram pages for the collective, and I think our Instagram channel has just reached over 500 subscribers. So we've got this amazing growing platform of connections, and people are really engaging with the whole idea of what we want, which is sharing the stories of women in piping to show that they are visible and they are here, because we know that it is still a very male-dominated field. It is, and that's what it is. But we are trying to make space for everyone, and I think by bringing this collective to life and now having our 12 ambassadors, we're showing that the breadth of talent that is out there.
Oh, for sure. And, well, it's not just pipers, I have to say. You also have drummers involved as well. So, yeah, can you tell us about the involvement of some of the women drummers that you have involved in the collective?
Definitely. We've got some amazing drummers. So Mackenzie Forrest, who is a snare drummer, she was playing with shots, but I think she's maybe taken a year out because she's studying. And we've got Shanna and Brianna McDonald, who are tenor drummers. They're also amazing designers, so they've been helping us looking at next generation of design for the collective and what it's going to look like going forward. We've got Anna and Susie have been doing a lot of work around music and women in piping music. They're both pipers, but the drummers that we've got on board are phenomenal, and actually having, again, that breadth of talent across piping and drumming just shows that there is a huge range of talent in the women that are in the piping world.
Absolutely. Now, I have been a total fan of the panel discussions that have taken place. Some of the interviews and that have been filmed, just fantastic. Like, particularly the one that I'm thinking of is the one that was ran at Piping Live, where it talks about women in grade 1. That was such a fascinating conversation. I've watched it back a few times now. Do you think there'll be any more of those in future, Helen?
Definitely. We are currently looking at what we can do for Piping Live, and the announcements about that are going to be coming out shortly. But yes, please keep space in your diaries during that week for some more amazing conversations and presentations of music and all of that sort of things. The Maket Collective is going to be a very present part of the Piping Live schedule this year. So we're excited to get all the details nailed down and over to you as soon as possible.
Oh, I love that. But yeah, we'll wait for those announcements then. In other words, we'll have to bide our time. Yeah. So also joining us on the call is Anna. Anna, you are one of the brand new ambassadors, I think. You were introduced last year to the collective. Is that right?
Yeah, and I was very honored and I was very happy when obviously people were suggesting my name, and then when Helen and team decided I would be fitting, I was very happy and very honored.
I see. So for people who don't know of you, and but obviously I know who you are, but would you like to introduce yourself to our listeners then and give us a bit of your background in piping?
Oh, of course. Well, I'm Anna. I'm 36 and I live in Germany actually, but I'm over quite a lot for piping and all of that. So I'm Scottish at heart, I would say. And I've come to learn the bagpipes being taught by my father originally, because both my parents play pipes and there's no special connection. It's just my father heard a busker one time in Hamburg that days, and he was just fascinated by the instrument, because it's, for us, it's quite exotic because we don't grow up with that, and I then grew up with that, so it was just maybe in my DNA or so. So both my parents started playing the pipes, and then when I was a child, I would say I progressed quite quickly. So my father took me actually to the piping center. It was, I think, 2005, when he thought, well, I can't teach her anymore. Let's see what the professionals think. And then I actually also had lessons. I had an intense week, it's what you call it, I think. And one of the days I was being taught by Margaret Coolian.
Oh yeah, Margaret.
And so also a female piper, and that was actually the hardest lesson I had all week, which now looking back at it was great, because nobody needs someone who tells them what they're doing great all the time. We need constructive criticism. So and then I developed my piping career. I studied 1 semester in Aberdeen, and I learned more people, and then I asked Callum Bowman for lessons like 15 years ago or so, and started the competition, like the Highland Games circuit, in 2011, and ever since then I've been at it, playing competitions, playing my best, trying my best. Getting into the silver medal Open Inverness was like the biggest step, I think. And yeah, that's where I'm currently.
There you go. And now you're being quite humble, Anna. I'm going to give some more of your background here. You've actually performed at some of the top events in the piping world and placed, and have been up in the higher echelons now for quite a while. Yeah. And I know you obviously as a previous serving president of the BAG, which is the Bagpipe Association of Germany. That's where I first got introduced to you. But you're also a serving adjudicator as well for bagpiping competitions. Can you tell us about that element of your own playing? Yeah,
it's because the piping scene in Germany is quite lively. There are a lot of people, I would say, there are a lot of people interested in that. And the standard, of course, is different than to Scotland. And in the higher grades that we have in Germany, there were fewer and fewer people. And I've seen myself being the only competitor. And that was a little boring. I mean, obviously, we all know you're your own biggest enemy and you play against yourself and you always like constructive criticism. But the organizers then one day came up to me and were asking, well, would you be able to imagine just being judging for the lower grades? And yeah, that's what got me started into that. And yeah, I was quite happy with that because you actually also learn quite a lot from that.
I was going to ask about that. That'd be an interesting dynamic. As a competitor, you know what it's like. But then seeing the other side with having the clipboard, it's a whole different thing, isn't it? So you're bound to have learned a lot through that.
Yes, and also you have so much compassion if someone is really nervous and you know exactly what it feels and you're sitting there and just, please keep going. But also, you analyze quite a lot of the technical details, the music, the sound, and you reflect on that. And sometimes I take input for that from my own playing and my own competitive performances. So yeah, it's quite educational also for me.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. Now, I have to ask, obviously being based in Germany, you had a geographical barrier to getting introduced to the bagpiping world, but also you're part of the collective now and you're trying to encourage more women and girls to get involved in piping. Did you find that being a woman was an additional barrier to yourself getting involved in the scene? With being a woman in a predominantly male, environment, was that a challenge for you or was it just...
Well, sometimes, yes, you felt a little... Again, I'm going to use the word exotic because I haven't seen many women around and I always thought the troubles I have, is that the same? Do the men have the same troubles, the same thoughts, the same hurdles? But I never really asked because it's weird asking those questions. And also when I teach here in Germany, I also teach youngsters and I actually have a few young girls and they feel different, but I think they take a lot from it that I'm a woman too, and it's more normal, I would say, having a female teacher. The same I felt when I came to the piping center and was getting lessons by Margaret, and that was the first, next to my mother obviously, but that was the first woman in like higher ranks and competitive woman that I met. So yeah.
I see. Yeah, so that's interesting. So Helen, that's what we were talking about before, about giving women and girls more of a platform so people can look up to them, I guess, and go, wow, they do it, I can do it too. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. That it's something that, even at our competitions that we run here, like the junior contest, we're making sure that the panels are as evenly split as possible between men and women so that the girls that are coming out, all of the people, it sort of normalizes that women judge, women are part of the event, and actually just having that as, these are people that judge. But it gives the girls that are competing a bit more confidence that they can see their pathway as well. So I think using the opportunities that we've got to really platform women who deserve to be there because they are of the playing standard, making sure that they are also given the opportunities when you're thinking about how you construct these events. It's really important work that we think we're doing and just at the start of doing.
Oh, for sure. It is vitally important. I agree. Yeah. So, well, speaking of giving a platform, we're going to talk about the event this weekend. You guys have a huge recital happening. Can you tell us a bit of detail about that then, Helen? What's happening?
Yes, it's really exciting. So this is the first in the Maket Collective Recital series. It's something that Sophie, who is the founder of the collective, had really wanted to do for some time. And just before Christmas, she spoke with Dougal from Trad TV, and it's about creating recordings of women, because it all came from the idea that when Sophie was in Australia, she was looking on YouTube and other video sites for women players to inspire her, and they just aren't there. There's, I think a few old videos of Sarah Muir and the odd one of Margaret, but they're all 10 years old, and she's regularly given updates from Willie and Fred and Roddy and all of these names, and all of the people that you see, even the Glenfiddich videos, it's always men.
Yeah.
So what we're doing with this project with Trad TV is specifically recording 5 female pipers, which will then be chopped up and put up on the Trad TV YouTube, Piping Centre YouTube, so that space starts to be more leveled out. I mean, we know that 5 videos is just a drop in the ocean, but at least it's, we can tag it up properly. And if folk are searching for that, they will come across the videos. They're high quality recordings. They are top playing in the piping centres. We know all the acoustics are great. But we really have to thank the William Grant Foundation, who we pitched the idea to, and they have provided the sponsorship to allow us to do it in such high quality, and inviting Anna over to play, and making sure that the opportunities are the same they would be for any recital. So it's an amazing thing. We have a sold out audience already, and the best part about it is that it is all being recorded and will be available shortly for everybody in the world to see.
Fantastic. So if you can't make it into the room, you still have a chance to go and view it. There you go.
Definitely.
Yeah. So can you tell us who all's involved? You've already said Anna's going to be playing. So who else is on the bill?
So we have Anna. We also have Erin Ianetta Mackay, Sarah Muir, Hazel White, and unfortunately, Anna Smart has had to pull out from performing on Saturday, but I'm delighted to be able to say that Ela McElhinney is joining the lineup as well.
Excellent.
So we've got 5 amazing pipers, and it's going to be a brilliant evening of amazing tunes. I've seen some of the set lists, and I'm so excited about the night.
Oh, I love that. Well, play that card close to your chest for now. Yeah, don't give the game away. But there's also a very interesting element of this. Obviously, the performing is one part of it, but there's also going to be like a hangout kind of bit afterwards where people can actually just talk to people. So was that kind of an act of inclusion in that you just wanted to have that part? Definitely.
The community meetup part is really sort of the second element of the collective, in that, people... one of the outcomes of the Piping Centre research was that they sort of feel a bit isolated, in that they don't ever see other women, and if they do, they're in another band, and it's how they get to meet people. Right. So part of this is about just connecting the community together, so that, if they are down at the Green at the World, they met them at the Piping Centre at an event where they were sort of encouraged to go up and say hello and, learn about each other, and just sort of creating that community of women in the wider space. So we are very purposefully putting in these community meetup points, just to make sure that people have the moments to be able to connect in a really informal and fun way. It's not a serious panel discussion. It's not anything other than just, here's a space that you can come, you can chat about what your favorite tune was on the night, or, meet your idol piper, who is hopefully going to stay around and, give you some encouragement. So it's very much a big part of what we're trying to do.
Oh, fantastic. For me, honestly, I think that's such a cool part of it. Yeah. So are you looking forward to that social element of it yourself, Anna?
Oh, I'm very much looking forward to that, because being based in Germany, here I don't have don't have a community that is so big, because in Germany too we are quite widespread. So all the contact we have is also like online, or like telephone, or sometimes when the odd pupil comes in, obviously. But being surrounded by many people that actually share the hobby and the passion for piping, I enjoy that. And Well, I also hope to see maybe many women in the audience. So I am looking forward to getting into conversations and also, of course, meet my fellow female players and meet all the great people.
Oh, fantastic. And then what about the performing element of it? Are you excited, nervous? Are you looking forward to it?
I am definitely looking forward to it. I have to say I'm a little bit nervous, of course, because you're in a critic. You always want to play well. And especially, as Helen just said, it's going to be recorded and it's going to be on a quite big platform and it's going to be on the World Wide Web forever. And yeah, I want to play well, and obviously I'm practicing for it and I've been preparing. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to also playing a little bit of Pibroch, as I said earlier on the social media websites. And yeah, because that also is quite an underrated, I think, kind of music in the piping world. So play a little bit of that. Yeah, and just enjoy the time on stage. That's always easier said than done. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it and show the world all the female piping that there is.
Oh, excellent. I'm really looking forward to it, Anna. So, yeah, whenever those recordings come through, no doubt we'll be sharing them out here in the Big Rab Show. So if you do want to catch those. But do keep across all of the details, of course, with the Maket Collective. There's bound to be a wealth of great work ahead for this incoming season. And speaking of the incoming season, Anna, will you be competing yourself this year coming in, do you think?
Yeah, I have already competed. I was at the Duncan Johnson competition, the SPA competition. I usually try and go to as many competitions as I can. I've also recently joined a band, and this will be my first season playing with a band as well. So I'll see how I can balance solos and the band. And I will be going around the games again and like the full summer circuit, and also then playing, like that's the pinnacle, playing Open Inverness Silver Medal again.
I see. Oh, well, best of luck. Have a good tune, as they say. Yeah, and Helen, no doubt we'll be catching up again in the near future as Piping Live rolls ahead. So I'm not wanting you to give me any spoilers. All right, I know we're not into spoiler territory, but how are things in the back room? Preparations underway?
They're going really well. We have launched our lunchtime recitals for this year.
Yep.
We've got an amazing array of those. We're just lining up a few more exciting new things. We've got the Maket Collective involved this year again, as I sort of teased earlier. The team are working really hard to make sure that the program is really high quality. We were working through it earlier this week, and I think everybody is going to be blown away. It's an amazing lineup. We're making some wee tweaks to the outside space again. The new layout last year wasn't quite right, so we're going to move the stage and the bar a wee bit. It will still be that ticketed entry with the bigger site. We're also going to have more tickets because we're sort of shuffling things around, a few more seats out, all the things that we sort of took on board from last year. So we are very excited about it. And we're hoping that there's going to be something amazing from this podcast coming as well.
Oh, No. Yeah, yes, there might well be, but we'll just leave that there. Yeah. And Helen, Anna, thanks so much for taking time to chat to me about this. I'm dead excited for this weekend. It's going to be an amazing event. And for anyone interested, there will be clips of it and stuff online, and we'll keep you across that. Yeah. Thanks so much for chatting with me, and all the best for this weekend. Have a good tune.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. There you are. A huge thank you to Anna and Helen for taking time to chat to me. And apologies for some of the audio quality there. We were having internet difficulties, but yeah, we done what we could to bring you as best a quality audio as possible. Hey, sometimes the power of the internet is not all it's cracked up to be, but we do what we can. But such an interesting conversation. And do you know what? The work of the collective is so valuable. And if you haven't checked out all of that detail yet, go and check them out on their social media. And of course, you can go to the National Piping Centre's website for tickets and all that information to do with this upcoming weekend's recital, which is just going to be blistering. I can't wait for it. There you are. There you go. So quite an interesting topic of the week this week. And hope you enjoyed that chat. And of course, if you do want any more information on anything we've spoke about on this week's show, or any future show for that matter, you can do. Email us in. bigrabshow@gmail.com. We always do love to hear from you. There you are. All right, folks, I am out the door. I'm about to get my pipes out of the case now and actually have a bit of a practice after I get this week's episode published. There you go. Because, of course, there's a competition this weekend. And, first competition of the season, really. I'm not nervous at all. Anyway, so good luck to everyone competing this weekend, be it in Northern Ireland or further afield. If you are out having a good tune, well, best of luck to you. And we'll be back again next week for even more bagpiping goodness, with another brilliant topic of the week to talk through. Yeah. So until then, folks, I'll see you all in next week's episode. Until then, all the best.
Well, that's it for another Big Rab Show podcast. Thanks so much for downloading this week, and a special thank you to our sponsor, G1 Reeds. Played by bands around the world, they are the champion's choice. Check out g1reeds.com for all of your piping needs. Don't forget to check out thebigrabshow.com to be kept up to date with all of the latest news and views from around the piping world. And also, check us out on Patreon. For $5 a month, you can get your hands on tons of extra piping goodness and be a part of the Patreon faithful. So, until next week, folks, we'll see you right here on the Big Rab Show Podcast. All the best.